shouldn't be cutting it too close now. Let's see now. Stupid thing. Any minute now. Hello. Oh, my goodness. You brought quite a bit, didn't you? I'm sorry, I don't exactly have the means to help you carry that in. Of course. In we go. Alright. Now, I've set up as best I could in the kitchen over here, but I wouldn't be surprised if I missed several steps. Well, that's good to know. Let's see. Oh, you don't need help unpacking, do you? Alright. If you insist. My, that is quite a large cookbook. I hope you have bookmarked a select few recipes. Otherwise, I am unsure if we'll even be getting around to cooking today. I figured. Now, what exactly did you have in mind for today? Oh, several options, I see. May I have a look? Well... Yes, I am fond of eggs. There are several options there, but I like the look of this. It seems like we have what it calls for as well. Well, it feels like sauteed vegetables would be hard to get wrong. And it'll be relatively healthy, not too overwhelming. Yes, you could say I'm not a very big eater. I wonder what gave you that idea. Alright, just a moment. I'll track down some appropriate utensils. Skillet, knife, cutting board. I did already happen to have some cooking oil, luckily. Would you mind bringing over the produce? Let's see... Zucchini, carrot, onion, garlic, and bell pepper. Thank you. Good idea. I'd better track down the salt and pepper beforehand. don't have to. Sorry, that happens sometimes. Thank you for helping. Well, sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to get things crammed into these overhead cupboards. I understand making use of the space, it just... Sometimes the frustration makes me wish there was no point in putting storage space up there. Right. So... Alright. I don't really have more than one of any item, so I suppose we could take turns chopping vegetables. That sounds good? Alright. I'll start. I think the easiest for me to deal with would be the zucchini, carrot, and bell pepper. I hope you don't mind taking care of the finer details with the others. That's true. I am not unskilled with delicate work. Perhaps I'm overthinking. Still... Thank you. I'll take care of things the next time I make something more involved for myself. Or... if we decide to do something like this again. Is that right? You might want to save your opinions until after we've finished making it. Suit yourself. Decently gloomy day, isn't it? I'm not the best at small talk. True enough. Maybe I just need a bit more experience. Is this much of a hobby for you? Or is it just a means to an end? Ah. It's nice that you enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'd be terribly opposed to going a bit more out of my way for a meal, once in a while. Although I must admit, generally I simply satisfy my hunger with something quick and light. Rice or fruit, bread and cheese, a sandwich, a piece of toast. I prefer not to waste time. Well, doing this with you isn't a waste of time. I just would much rather get back to my work as quickly as possible is all. The fact that I become hungry at all is more of an annoyance these days, honestly. Listen, I'm not in the habit of taking too much time to or for myself. I can't afford it. Life is far too uncertain. And for much of my life, most resources weren't plentiful. But among them all, time is the most valuable. Even before getting this sick, no one in the Undercity is promised a tomorrow. I realize that applies to everyone, but down there, I saw other children meet with unfortunate ends. No one is spared by the vicious ecosystems that exist down there. Some were reckless, others couldn't have been more careful. All the same, I suppose I learned fear early on. I didn't mean to bring down the mood. Here, this is my share. I'm going to pull up a stool. Oh, are you uncomfortable with that? Alright, fine. I'll say it. I'd like to watch. Observation can serve as a decent learning experience all on its own. You're quite a bit quicker than I am. I assume you're experienced? Ah, thought so. A suggestion, huh? What is it? I agree. This could easily go very well with rice. After this is finished, I can put some on to boil while we eat. We can set some of this aside to see how we like it when it's combined. I don't know. I can't recall whether I've ever taken a single day off. You must feel proud of yourself. You broke my perfect record. I'm sorry. I suppose you're right. It's not all joking. But I'm taking things one step at a time. What? Oh. Who said that? I don't necessarily blame them. I don't feel like I joke with too many others, or all that often. Sometimes I wondered myself whether or not I was capable of it. I think we've had this conversation before. Not to snub you or anything, but Jace doesn't keep me around for my comedy skills. So, are we ready to put the skillet on? Splendid. We need a fork or spatula or something. Excuse me. There. Okay. Once the oil is hot enough, we can place these in. That looks about right. May I? Thank you. Damn it. No, I'm fine. Just, it spat at me a bit. Oh, thank you. That helps. It's really not a big deal, I promise. It already feels like nothing. See? Fine. A question. An important question. Go ahead. I appreciate you asking. And even thinking to ask, honestly. It varies from day to day. I don't... I dislike feeling as though others, especially on the whole, see me as being... I don't know. Too fragile to be capable. Too stupid to know my own limits. Hey, put that look away. I saw that. I do my best. Alright? And even from people I consider friends, it can feel overbearing sometimes. If I'm honest, I can't be too reliant on anyone. No one can. Just because I may have some extra struggles, it doesn't justify anyone who sees fit to infantilize me. People have before. A few. There was this one woman who decided that, obviously, being from the Undercity, along with having the conditions I have, I must not be very likely to succeed here. She was always dressing up backhanded comments with sweet words. Would always ask if I needed help doing nearly anything she saw me doing. Just strangely overinvested behavior. We didn't really know each other. I'm not even sure she was aware of how uncomfortable of a situation she was creating. And I don't know which possibility is more frustrating. That being said, it can be nice hearing from you or Jace that you just want to check in. I know that you are actually concerned with my well-being, so it feels a lot less likely to be performative. And I'm not shy about speaking up if you overdo it. You will know Believe me. You were looking worried. It's okay. I look frustrated. I know I don't usually have the friendliest default expression, and I'm not too aware of what my face is ever doing. I admit there are just some baseline frustrations towards feeling like I'm being viewed as needy. But it's nothing you've done wrong. It's just something I've developed over the years. Something I have to deal with. This isn't on you. I appreciate the offer to talk when I need to. But for now, it looks like this is ready to serve. It smells nice. Here, I set out a couple plates. I can take the smaller one. Yes, I'm sure. Growing up, no one really kept entire china sets or anything. Once I even obtained any, I had little dinnerware. So I tend to keep little to this day. I don't really need too much. I only have more than one plate because Jace has decided to drop by unannounced before, needing to consult with me immediately on something that's just struck him. So I eventually relented and decided to be prepared, since on more than one occasion Jace brought something to eat with him. Sometimes. Mostly when his mother has made something that he stresses is for the both of us. I think he just uses that as a way to convince me to change my stance on meals. Oh yes, she's a very good cook actually. I've never regretted trying anything she's made. One moment and I'll get the rice going. You sit down. I'll set this timer and... we should be alright to head into the parlor. At the very least, the apartment layout allows for some certain conveniences. The adjoining areas make it so that it's not completely unsafe to leave the stove unattended. We have a clear sight line. And I may have a certain side project that I've been hoping will be mass-produced at some point. It's done a good job of warning me of fire-related threats so far. What do you mean, is this a common concern? Of course. Well, it would be nice if these devices could be used to warn people across both cities of incoming dangers. One day. Thank you for taking the time to help me with this. Why don't you bring that book into the lab someday? If you insist on me taking more breaks, I would like to write down some of the more appealing recipes you have in your collection. Just let me have this. It's a change of pace at least. Huh? I seem tired. I tend to, yes. That's just how I look. Oh. Uh, hmm. I don't remember when I slept or when I got up. I am a bit sleepy. Maybe warm meals do that to me. You might have a point. The more I make, I could overcome that if it does become a pattern. Alright, I don't need a lecture. I'm aware that I'm not the best at making sure that I sleep well. Believe it or not, some of that isn't under my control. But you're right. In that my usual conduct doesn't exactly help. You don't have to do that. Well, alright, if you insist. I at least know better than to argue with you. Oh, this? Just a bit of light reading. Sometimes it's nice to see that there are those in Piltover who acknowledge and understand the disparity that must be mended. This author is written with the intent of reaching other Piltovans about exactly that, and how others can do their part in the effort to help conditions and quality of life in the Undercity to begin improving. I appreciate that among so many ignorant, there are still those who are aware that change is needed and are willing to help. Especially to the point of publishing material to accomplish that. It's also interesting to see this examined by someone who is in a considerably more privileged position. They're not wrong about as many things as I imagined. Yes. Sometime soon, I'd be willing to lend this to you. Let me know if you need anything in there. Sorry. I think I dozed off a bit. You really wouldn't mind? I feel bad that I invited you here only to burn out so fast, but I suppose we accomplished our primary goal, if you're fine with it. I think I would like to sleep a bit. I trust you to let yourself out quietly and politely when you want to leave. Why not? Feel free to borrow from anything in this pile of reading material. Just leave a note with which title you took home if you act on that offer. Oh, and thank you for keeping me company today. It was pleasant. If I don't see you before you leave, I hope you have a nice evening. I think I'm going to be quiet now.